Hello everyone! Today I'd like to talk about 5 issues that hold back the player's experience in Genshin Impact and, in my opinion, deserve to be addressed by miHoYo. And even though some of these issues have been known since the game launched, the possibility to be fixed has to be somewhat realistic. I know a lot of people hate the resin system, me included, or even 5-star constellations or 5-star refinements, but the truth is, these systems are well established in gacha games, which means there's absolutely no incentive for a company to cut systems that are highly profitable. So I try to focus on systems that aren't tied closely to monetization. The first thing I want to talk about are the new Inazuma characters and their Ascension Materials in particular, because they are locked behind Inazuma content and Inazuma is locked behind the AR30 Archon quest. So I realized this is more like an issue for newer players, but just imagine you're adventure rank 25 and the first 5-star you pull for is, for example, Ayaka. You actually happen to get her and you're really happy and want to build her and you realize you can't. And by the time you get to adventure rank 30, you should be able to ascend your characters 3 times and level them up to level 60. But you're running around with the level 40 Ayaka and you might actually run into a little trouble because she probably will get one-shot by everything. That's obviously an issue and I think they need to think about something there. The next thing I want to mention is please improve the chat quality. It's sometimes bugged, you aren't able to scroll up, or if you type out your message and go over the max character limit, it sometimes deletes it, which is annoying, but the worst thing is, please do like region-specific profanity filters and cut out a lot of the blacklisted words because it's a little ridiculous. If you type something like, I just got C4 Ganyu, for example. Why is C4 censored? Are they really thinking that I talked to someone called Ganyu and I just told them I just got explosives? It's a little ridiculous in my opinion. The next things are actually electro-elemental reactions and the elemental resonance. The community has pretty much asked for buffs since the game launched, and the discussion has kind of resurfaced with the release of the Raiden Shogun. Because you can't really deny that the electro-elemental reactions are weak, you can't really touch Overload because it would buff the pyro reactions, and the pyro reactions are already the strongest damage reactions in the game. But you might want to consider reworking something like electro-charged. As for the elemental resonance, miHoYo already successfully reworked the geo-resonance. In my opinion, it's really good, so there might be a chance that other elements will get the same treatment. 100% chance to generate an electroparticle for the electro-resonance? There's obviously a lot to be desired. And while we're at it, let's talk about hydro-resonance, because coincidentally the next upcoming character is a hydro character, Kokomi. And guess what's going to be all over YouTube and Reddit? It will be 30% incoming healing increase is not very desirable. The next thing I'm hoping for is kind of a little balance update with each patch, because there are actually quite a lot of character interactions not working, like the Raiden Shogun and Beidou Elemental Burst thing, or some characters straight up underperforming, like Yoimiya, for example. But I think a lot of people always leave out the 4-star characters in this discussion. 3 of them you see in my team right now. I often hear people consider these characters weak, but I rarely hear someone asking for buffs. So I want to give some suggestions. For Noelle it's actually quite easy, just fix her energy problems. For example, give her energy generation on her elemental skill or reduce the energy cost on her elemental burst skill. For Amber, I think she could be a decent pyro support if you just increase the duration of her elemental burst skill, kind of make her a mini Ganyu. And for Lisa, I think she has actually a very interesting mechanic. The stacks kind of remind me of Yanfei, but Yanfei's mechanic is actually really well tied into her whole skill kit, while Lisa's elemental burst skill has actually nothing to do with her own mechanics. So maybe you try to tie it in. For example, if she stands in her lamp, her elemental skill channels faster and has less cooldown or something like that. And the last thing is actually quite funny to me, because for whatever reason they decided to design this game in a way that it trains you to be antisocial, because as soon as you enter co-op, you are constantly scared that people kind of loot your resources. And the weirdest thing about this is there's actually like probably a million easy fixes for this problem, because you can just implement like a separate loot instance. You see only your own resources when you are in co-op, or even a completely separate loot instance, like it's a completely new world when you enter co-op. Or in my opinion, you can farm the whole day long if you want to by just joining new worlds over and over again. So just get rid of the weird respawn timers and make ores and resources and even monsters respawn on a reasonable timer, like 5 minutes or something. There's literally no reason to have them on 24 hours. With this, we actually made it to the end of the list, but I still have 2 more bonus memes. They are kind of more out there, so I didn't include them in the actual list. And it's stuff that I want to see, but I think it's highly unlikely to happen anytime soon. The first one being repeatable endgame loops, because right now you only have daily commissions and resin. It doesn't even take half an hour and you are basically out of things to do. And don't just make it more chores, be creative. And the second one is, in my opinion, this game is too much of a single player game, so maybe have some optional stuff so the people who actually want a single player game don't feel pressure to do it, but have more incentivized co-op, like maybe guilds or clans, or something like co-op Abyss, or more of these little mini games that were co-op, like the hide and seek one or the tower defense, and have them permanently, maybe on a rotation, that you have each week like a mini co-op game and have something to do. Alright, we made it to the end. Thank you very much for watching. I'm actually very curious on your opinion on this, or if you have some other things you'd like to see in the game, so feel free to leave me a comment. With that being said, stay tuned for more content in the future. Until then, have a fun time in Teyvat, and bye bye!